Welcome back to another Warframe video. This one's going to be a little different than usual. We have basically an entirely new game practically with the update that they gave on update 14. You're actually seeing a new Warframe here, Mirage, and this is how you start the game now. You start on your ship instead of sitting at the universe screen anymore. So they've changed quite a bit of how the game works and whatnot. I'm going to run you through some of the changes that they've made along with some of the content that they've added. This is how you navigate the solar system now. It's all like a horizontal spinning wheel. Once inside the planets, you can see the ones you have and haven't been to. But all in all, it's not that much different from the way it used to be. More or less, they have changed a few things here and there. You have your extractor down here now, if you've used those at all. Other than that, you have your news here on the side. The whole ship basically acts as one big menu like you had before, but now it's all kind of laid out through the ship. If you don't feel like exploring around the ship, you can simply push escape. You get your whole menu here, kind of the way it used to be, with just a bit of a different interface. You get your jump right to the navigation, your gear, the foundry, arsenal, and there's a couple more options you'll probably notice because they added a creature called Kubrows, which is more or less like a giant, kind of like a wolf dog. You probably fought a few on Earth. The friends and whatnot is through communications. Probably noticed that before, but it's just mostly a symbol. And there's still some of the similar menus you've had before. Going through. Other than that, you have your codex, where they actually have missions now, so if you want to do a quest, unless you have any quests that they give you, certainly there's 4 now. We more or less skipped the intro. They have a new prologue that you can actually do with Vor, but there were some problems with that when the update first came out, so it's causing a lot of problems. We just bypassed that to kind of not get caught up in all that. Other than that, you have your market, basically the same. The only difference is you can kind of see behind it now while you play around through your different options. Some of the new things they've added as well, other than Mirage, is a couple of new weapons, and the Kubrows is a really advanced system entirely. This is the one here. There's different species, sizes, genetics, fur layouts. I mean, there's an amazing amount of content when it comes to it. Basically, you can interact with it, kind of raise your loyalty with it a little bit. You can only do it a couple of times a day, so you have to kind of watch where you're using that all the time. I've only noticed that the loyalty drops from the Kubrow dying in combat. It basically works just like a sentinel. More or less, you go into your arsenal, you equip it just like you would a sentinel. All your other ones there. It does not have an equipable weapon, so you just put on whatever mods are available. They have their own series of mods that get thrown in with the Sentinel mods, but the only way to farm them that I know of as of now is to kill Kubrows on Earth. I haven't seen any other way to do it yet. But I could show you some of the weaponry. Currently have basically dual pistols that have come. They have huge magazines and puncture damage at the moment. That's what they're built from. And probably the biggest weapons they've added is the sword and shield. I'll be able to give you a better look at that in just a moment. Just to give a couple of examples of how the Warframe and some of the new equipment works. Mirage kind of acts as a glass cannon for numerous reasons. She's built very weakly in terms of shields and health. You're looking at her health right now with Vitality and Vigor on. It's only just shy of 600, so
reinforcements are inbound.
You can tell she can probably go down pretty easily. Her mobility definitely makes up for all of her loss in health and in shields. I'd say she's at least just as fast as Loki, possibly even faster. If you see her move around, you know. I mean, I've never seen... Yeah, see, so fast you break the game. Yeah, I got out of the wall. But basically, her speed is so fast sometimes you can find yourself overshooting or just about getting yourself killed trying to you know, maneuver away from enemies and whatnot. When you're trying to get around them, you might fly so far you land into the next crowd of enemies, so it's hard to be precise with the amount of movement you get. The rolling speed is just insanely fast. But her new weapons, the weapons that were added along with her, one of them seems to fit pretty well, which is basically a dual pistol. Very quick, easy to deal with, deep magazines, good power, and the reload time's fast as anything. To reload is just a simple and done. They're pretty self-explanatory, dual Uzi type weapons. Now the melee weapon, as good as it is, I'd say it's more of an infested type killer weapon. When it comes to her, I mean, as good as it looks on her, I really don't think it's a weapon that's suited for her, in my opinion, because she's really reliant on mobility. You stand still for more than 2 seconds in a high level area and you're going to go down from 2 shots to the head. This weapon, as good as it can be, there's definitely some drawbacks to it. This is actually the stance mod that's in there as well. And it can be fast. There's actually a Fury mod in there right now. But you know, something with, you know, something like the Fang Prime or daggers would probably suit her a little bit better, because she can just get in, do a couple slices, and get out without really taking any damage. I'll actually show you here. This is a quick little infested defense mission. You can kind of see the Kubrow and her in action a little bit, just to see how things are. And it also works a little bit like the flame sword, so you can kind of do that fire explosion wave. Now you can see some of her skills actually being used here. You see, just like that fast, her shields are already empty. But yeah, if you're fast enough with the dodging and the mobility, you really can avoid getting hit with just about anything. Now for the Uzis, I'll kind of get you a quick little show on those. A little bit better suited for her mobility, so that you don't really have to worry about taking much hit. You see the Kubrows kind of tearing him a little bit apart too. Not quite as leveled up, he's still pretty fresh, so I've only had it out for, I have to say, probably only a few hours, really. But a lot of mods that make them better. There's some mods that let you share your shields and health with them, actually. They take a percentage of your shields and health if you have the mod on. Not taking away your shield, but actually giving them a percentage of what you currently have. So in this case, Mirage has very little shields and health, so that'll reflect on the Kubrow as well, not having much as well. Now if you use something like Valkyr or something with a lot of health, something like Frost or Rhino, you're probably going to have a crap load of shields on it. And at least a substantial amount of health, not a ton. Valkyr or Ashe or someone who's like a decent amount of health. With a full Vitality mod and a full Kubrow Vitality mod, I'm not sure what they'll have. But I think if someone had Valkyr, I'm going to show you another skill here, ulti, actually really helps out. Basically it's a big old disco ball that just kind of bounces around the room. You can actually use it to bounce off walls, different things like that. And the lasers just take everything out for the most part. It just kind of continues to bounce around. It slowly drains your energy while it goes around, but it's not mad. When that actually explodes, it'll blind all enemies within the radius, or enemies that are looking at it even. I've seen enemies get blinded practically a room away. Another skill that's really good to use is her first ability, especially with gunfire and whatnot. There it is, right there. The clones actually deal a small bit of damage themselves of what you're currently doing. So you can really have a firing line type of enemy. The only downside is it takes a while to wind up the ulti. But, quick demonstration of pretty much their skills. Sleight of Hand is a very different one. It's more for stealth, really. It'll booby trap the, like, crates, containers, computer terminals, things like that. What it does is it lures the enemies into those items where they explode, and usually either kill or cause extreme damage to them. I don't see a lot of practicality to that unless you're really going to be a stealthy player on her. Which is possible, but without a stealth, I mean, you might be able to do it with like shade or something like that.
Extraction is ready. Unless you can,
but for the most part,
I've
pretty much chose to go without. Seems to be a lot easier to just put something else useful in there in that slot. Well, they have a couple of new loading screens when you're actually going into the missions, and another little cutscene right before you get to the point where you see your Warframe kind of drop out of the ceiling or whatever it might do. Nothing too fancy, just a quick little... Yeah, Kubrow's always just there. One other ability that I didn't touch on because we were just kind of sitting in a huge lighted area. Her third ability, Eclipse, it basically... When she's like that, she takes either very little damage or the bullets kind of pass through her. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't been able to really test it out yet. When she's in the shadows, that's pretty much the effect. Now when she's in the light, her damage is amplified, so... Seems like a bit of a strategic move to use, but it's a win-win either way, so can't really complain. Cool thing is the Kubrow actually alerts you to when enemies are near. So you can kind of get an idea. But also the Kubrow will give you away. obviously the ulti really can just tear rooms to pieces. See, like even through the door it got blinded. But this level here is actually the level you would go to farm mods for your Kubrow. It's the main one, E Prime on Earth. More or less, it's a very easy level to do. And you just hunt down some Kubrows and hope for the best. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any this run, but it doesn't take much time at all. It's a very fast mission to do.
Keep going. Nobody knows you're here.
A good strategy I've learned with her is just to run really fast, use her momentum to get far away from your enemies, turn around and just launch that ball down the hallway, or whatever you would. It takes just about all of them out. A couple more enemies probably floating around. And there's the Kubrows. The thing that people are kind of complaining about is the ulti in itself. It is kind of a cheap move. It doesn't cost much to pop, and it gives so much protection and offense at the same go. Ooh.
No further life forms detected.
And that's pretty much all there is to it. You just wipe out the Grenier, and then you start going Kubrow hunting. Wow. Have you had to see that one? Destroying the Kubrow dens themselves, you actually have a chance of getting an egg itself to make another Kubrow. I'm not too sure on how well you can... Well, there you have it, there's mod. And there's Maul. It's uncommon, basically a melee mod. It can really pump the hell out of their attack. I know you can go well over, I think, 200% melee damage with it if you can level it up all the way. That's usually the hard part. But I mean, a lot of people are just selling these for platinum right on the go. Even though they're common or uncommon mods, they're still, since it's so fresh, obviously people are going to buy it. The sheer speed on her is insane. But yeah, managed to get one mod. I had a little lacking in dens, but you know, it's the usual. Oh, didn't even realize I got another one. Link shield, the 10%, basically it takes the percentage of your shields onto them. But all these you can find pretty easily. Still missing a few, but doesn't take a whole lot to get. But all in all, that's pretty much the entire update there. They're going to be adding more and more as it goes. I've heard rumors of a bladed tonfa that could be added soon, but for the most part, out of all the stuff they've added, I see it as an improvement myself. All the new stuff that they've basically put in. You have your foundry that'll show you things that are being built. Your Kubrow, I think you can have more slots, or maybe something in the future, but I'm not entirely sure. But for the most part, yeah, there's just much more to look at in terms of your starting screen, opposed to just a galaxy of planets just kind of sitting around like, about a dozen marbles on a table. So it's a lot more to do, a lot more to interact with. Almost gives like a Mass Effect kind of feel. But leave some comments below to see what you think about the update, if you like it or if you think it's more of a hassle than it used to be. I think it gives more of a purpose to the game, but everyone has their own opinion. And in terms of Mirage and the weapons, I think the weapons are just fine. The sword and shield, I don't think the shield really merits any defense than it would if you were using, any other weapon in the game. Unless it takes less stamina to block, but that's really the only thing I could think of. I didn't really notice that when I played, so. The Uzis seem pretty self-explanatory. They work real well, have nice clips and reload speed. Mirage herself, I think she's a little overpowered, but she is very fragile, so I definitely see what they did with that. I think they have to see why she just touches the wall when it comes to running on a wall and just goes flying worlds away. I'm not sure if that was meant to happen or whatnot, but her maneuverability definitely seems to be the highest among all Warframes. But yeah, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. I'll see you in the next video.